world, Florida. Dr. Narco Longo. Brought to you by the Florida Department of Magic. Welcome to Florida, baby. Florida is the original Garden of Eden. Florida has the highest concentration of freshwater springs in the world. Florida oranges are the golden apples of mythology. A race of giant men once roamed this peninsula. The Smithsonian can suck my balls.
Uh-oh. Jump the gun.
Old World, Florida. Dr. Narco Longo. Brought to
What's up, y'all? How's everyone doing? Happy Saturday. Need some water here. What's up, everyone? It is Saturday. I'm coming to you live from the Dancing Elephant bookstore. I'm not standing up today. I'm a little tired. I was working all day, but we're continuing the Casting Couch Astrology Podcast. Astrology every single week on Saturday. Last week, we talked about the elements and the sub-elements. And also, let us know if our audio is sounding good here. But give us thumbs up if we're sounding good. But last week, we talked about the elements and the sub-elements. So a lot of people talk about the elements. Pretty much no one talks about the sub-elements. So go check that out. We're going to be pretty much trying to teach astrology, teach the basics, teach the introductory stuff, but also super hard-hitting stuff that no one else teaches. So things like the sub-elements. So I think every episode we're going to bring you kind of a conventional topic and then kind of the underbelly, underworld, less understood aspect of that same topic maybe. But so yeah, and as always, we've got Mike Merlin, the wizard, here. What's up, Mike? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dr. Longo. I hope you are as well. Hope the chat's doing great. And yeah, we're gonna scratch the surface of the modalities and then get deep into it too. And we've got some good gravy on the cross as well. So the whole thing is gonna be, it's all gonna relate. It's all gonna be cool, and should be a good time.
Hell yeah. So guys, tonight, very exciting show here. We have the modalities, cross symbolism, and the golden age. Okay. The modalities, a lot of people don't know what that means. That's an astrological term. In astrology, it means cardinal, fixed, mutable. That's what the modalities are. So if that threw anyone off, now you know. Cardinal signs, there's fixed signs, and there's mutable signs. So just like the elements, the zodiac, I've got the wire around my neck here. The zodiac is split up into elements, 1 out of 4, right? There's 4 elements, and there's 3 kind of groupings of those elements. With the modalities, it's the other way around. There's 3 modalities, and I guess there's kind of teams of 4, you could say. So those 4 signs, like we were showing last time, the importance of the triangle and the trine, and about how the elements are arranged, right? Signs of a similar element, signs of the same element are arranged in a triangle, right?
Yep. And what that's called triagonal radiation too, because what that is,
Okay.
the heavens are a 360-degree circle. So when there's a 120-degree separation, that is 1/3 of the heavens. And that's why trines are so harmonious, is because it's triagonal radiation. These luminaries above us, they are literally radiating their energy.
Yeah, totally. The modalities, instead of that triangle shape, which is a big theme that, a lot of people kind of miss out on, is the visual aspect of learning astrology, right? You can kind of pick up on the rhythm, the harmony, some people are more visual based, and a lot of people have experience with geometry, and that's a good entree into astrology. So, what's the shape we're going to be talking about tonight? It's the cross. It's the cross, because when you're dealing with the modalities, if there's 4 cardinal signs and they're evenly spaced across the zodiac, which is a wheel, you're going to get a cross shape or an X shape. So let's kind of, we'll see what that means in a little bit here. We're just giving an overview, but that's what ties that all together is the modalities, cardinal, fixed, mutable. They make crosses. And depending on how you're looking at it, some of them are upright, some of them are, tilted. So this also ties into the golden age and the debate about whether the golden age is based in astronomy or astrology at all. Is it such a thing that you can track using astrology, the ages or Plato's great year or something like that? Is there an astronomical basis for the golden age? So we're going to try and get to that towards the end. But talking about the cross with astrology, also, of course, it's going to, it's going to be proper that we address the fact that the cross is a pre-Christian symbol as well. In fact, it's usually associated with astrology. It's the sky cross or the earth cross, or however you look at it. It could be the earth looked the earth from a bird's eye perspective is one way to look at the cross. The 4 rivers, kind of one of the old Greek models of the world was 4 rivers spreading outwards instead of the 4 in the Garden of Eden that all flow in the same direction. They almost kind of had the world split up into a cross, 4 corners, right? That's why you hear 4 corners of the world. It's not because they thought it was a square earth. It's because they thought the earth was split at 4 corners, like in America. When you go to the 4 corners in America, right? Isn't that Colorado and
Yeah, somewhere out west. Yeah, it's about the borders, exactly, the separation. And that's what the cross does. It separates.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different cosmic crosses that we're going to get into. There's looking up at the sky and seeing crosses, looking down at the earth and seeing the cross, using the seasons to arrange a cross and all that. And in doing this, we're actually going to help the Christians, I think, discover some new cross symbolism in the Old Testament, because I think there's a whole lot, definitely enough to chew on and make a case for. But yeah, let's get through the modalities first. Then we'll talk a lot more about the cross and cross symbolism. But I've been talking a bit too much here, but Merlin, why don't you kind of just give a breakdown on what are the modalities? Why is there even a distinction between cardinal, fixed, mutable?
Sure, yeah, and this ties into what you were saying last week about how astrology is more than just a study of the stars and the heavens. It's the seasons, it's the air, it's the feeling that you get. So the cardinal signs, they're called movable signs as well, and they get their name because the air changes its disposition when the sun enters one of the cardinal signs. When the sun enters Aries, you can feel it in a few different ways, especially in the northern hemisphere. You have your temperature changes for sure, but there's also a little bit of there's a spring energy in the air. There's a freshness to the air. And the fixed signs are called that because what they do is they preserve and keep fixed that same temperament of the air. So when the sun enters Taurus, that spring energy is already there and it maintains that. And then the mutable signs, if you look up the word mutable, it means changeable, malleable. These signs are also called common signs because these signs have commonalities between two different types of air disposition. Gemini, it feels like half spring and then half summer. By the end of Gemini, you're in summer, definitely. But by the beginning of Gemini, you're not all the way there. Like, the beginning of Gemini, you're going to have a few colder days, probably, especially if you're a bit further north, right? So that's why the signs are called what they are. That goes back to the ancients. That's not, us making this up or talking off the cuff. That's why the signs are called either cardinal, fixed, or mutable. It's literally about air quality and air disposition. And yeah, it goes back to the seasons. And talking about the sub-elements from last week a little bit, each of the sub-elements, right? They didn't have a specific order when they connected with the elements, but with the modalities they do. Like there's one of each, just like each element had like a different sub-element in there. Each element has a different modality, right? So for the 3 fire elements, you have Aries, Leo, and Sag. You have your fixed, your cardinal, and your mutable. So that's how that works. And we'll show you some visuals here in a little bit when we get deeper into it.
Yeah. So let's talk about, maybe we'll list off which signs are cardinal, which ones are fixed, and which ones are mutable. So starting off, Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, is a cardinal sign. It is cardinal fire. Taurus, the second sign of the zodiac, is fixed. It's fixed earth. Gemini, the third sign of the zodiac, is mutable. It's mutable air. Cancer. Wait, hang on. I already got lost. Cancer is cardinal water. Leo is fixed fire. Virgo is mutable earth. Libra is cardinal air. Scorpio is fixed water. Sagittarius is mutable fire. Capricorn is cardinal earth. And then Aquarius is fixed air. Pisces is mutable water. So there's an order. That's one thing to point out, is it always goes cardinal, fixed, mutable.
Over and over. Do you want my graphic pulled up?
Fixed, mutable. Yeah, let's do that. People can see. There you go. That's easy to follow along with. Aries, cardinal, Taurus, fixed, Gemini, mutable, and repeat. So cardinal, fixed, mutable. And just like we were saying before with, how the all the fire signs form a triangle, all the cardinal signs form a cross, all the fixed signs form a cross, and all the mutable signs form a cross. So what would you say the attributes of cardinal signs are, Merlin?
I would say,
what unifies them? What do they have in common?
I mean, besides the change in the seasons, it manifests in the character of the native as well. Cardinal signs in a birth chart signify, I would say, a desire to do something more than most other signs. Cardinal signs often have a lot of drive behind them.
Right. The way that I've always heard it best explained is cardinal is the best at starting things, fixed is the best at sustaining things, and mutable is the best at bringing things to an end or concluding, finishing, polishing, right? Things like that. So you'll find cardinal signs, Aries, for example, being, I guess, the most cardinal because it's the beginning, very guilty of starting things and not seeing them through to the end. Starting things all the time, right?
They'll rush in head first.
Yep. Fixed signs can get stuck places, right? Because sometimes they aren't good at starting new and fresh. It's scary. Sometimes it's scary to end things, but they can be a lot more loyal. Taurus, very loyal. Scorpio can be very loyal. See, when they backstab harder than anyone. But Scorpio is very, very loyal. If you're in deep with a Scorpio, you're tight with them. One of the most loyal. They'll kill for you, right? They're that type of loyal. Scorpios are
That's a good way to put it.
fixed. What are the other fixed signs? Taurus, Scorpio.
Aquarius and Leo. So Aquarius is like a
and
man.
Leo.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Leo, same thing. If they can put themselves aside, if there's someone that they do like and trust, they can be extremely loyal too. So, and these are very sustaining signs. You think about Taurus having a green thumb or things like that. They can sustain things. The mutable signs, good at finishing things, right? How could we say this? Pisces, for example, the most mutable of the signs is at the very end of the zodiac, right? And it rules conclusions. It rules finishing, ending, right? That's all Pisces.
Finale.
So, yes, the finale, the finish, the fin of the fish.
Yeah.
It's official. It's over. It's
yeah.
a fish. But so yeah, that's kind of the general overview of cardinal, fixed, mutable. They aren't as obvious and easy to define as the elements are, right? They're more abstract concepts, right? You've never held. Eek. Whoops. Fuck.
You good?
Hang on. Yeah, I just made a spill.
Okay, no sweat.
Knocked my water over. Give me a sec.
Sure. Yeah, so like Aquarius is the man of the zodiac and it's a fixed sign. And if you know an Aquarius who is developed, meaning they probably passed their Saturn returns, they're in their 30s, and Aquarius can be a man fixed in his purpose. Aquarians can be just like Capricorns, and again, those are both Saturnian signs. They are great at careers, and that's also, Longo brings up sometimes that a lot of the goats in sports tend to be Aquarians. I think Wayne Gretzky and Michael Jordan are both Aquarians, and those are two men who are completely fixed in their purpose. How was the spill? Everything good?
Yeah, we're good. It's just
nice. Immaculate recovery.
Yeah. So guys, there's so much information out there on cardinal, fixed, mutable. We don't want to kind of cover what's already been said a million times, of course. But if you didn't know, that's the order they go in and so on. But what's interesting is if we just look at the animals associated with some of these and the symbolism, I think we're really going to want to focus in on the fixed cross tonight, but this goes for all of them too. This is where it gets exciting, guys, okay? Who's ever heard of the word cherub or cherubim? That's a Hebrew word, an old Hebrew word. Comes from the Bible. So in the Old Testament, in Genesis, the first book of the Bible, the first time angels are ever mentioned, it's not the word angel in the King James Version. It's cherubim, which I believe they just left transliterated from Hebrew into English. They didn't translate it, I don't think. Here, let's pull up the cherub Wikipedia. Could you pull up the cherub Wikipedia,
Yeah, sure. Give me just one
please?
second. So cherub Wikipedia.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. So angels, what are angels? I think we're gonna challenge a lot of misconceptions tonight. Cherubs. So we were just talking about the modalities: cardinal, fixed, mutable. Well, what if I told you guys that the fixed signs are named, mentioned, referenced in the first book of the Bible, in the second chapter of the Bible? No, the second or no, I think it's the third. I think the third or the fourth. But essentially, the cherubs are often mistranslated. It's hard to say mistranslated, but they're generally translated, rendered as angels. In the King James Version, they left it as cherub, cherubim for plural. Eem is usually plural in Hebrew, right? Like
Elohim.
yeah, Elohim, Anakim, right? So what are the cherubim? Not many people know. Christians don't really like to talk about it. Churchgoers don't really like to talk about it. But according to Wikipedia, cherubim is one type of supernatural being in Abrahamic religions. The numerous depictions of cherubim assign to them many different roles, such as protecting the entrance of the Garden of Eden. Talking about the Garden of Eden in Florida a lot on my channel, a lot of people kind of, they'll raise the critique or raise the question of, well, if Florida's the Garden of Eden, or if any place is the Garden of Eden, show me the angel with the flaming sword. Well, I like to point out, it doesn't say angel in my favorite Bible. It says cherubim. So I'm going to pull up the King James Version Bible for cherubim. Just give me 1 second. You want to comment while I pull this up?
Yeah, sure. I mean, let's see. In 1938, William F. Albright argued that the winged lion with the human head found in Phoenicia and Canaan is much more common than any other winged creature. So, I mean, yeah, like down here, this is like what we're trying to get at, guys. It's a God, and God in Hebrew is tetragrammaton. Sorry, this isn't cherubim related, but that goes back to the 4 fixed signs. Yahweh, YHWH, the Yod, Hey, Viv, Hey, or something like that, whatever the V is in Hebrew.
Yeah.
That's it. So go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. Yod Hey Vav Hey.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the 4-letter name of God. Tetragrammaton means 4-letter. So here we're looking at the Bible now, King James Version. I think this is an order of instances that cherubim is used in the Bible, starting in Genesis chapter 3, verse 24. So let's go to that chapter, the full chapter. This is when Adam and Eve are, Eve eats the fruit or passes the fruit to Adam, and both of them eat it. And, she's beguiled by the serpent. Is that the right word? Does it say that there? Yeah, beguiled by the serpent. And then, of course, God talks to Adam and Eve. He changes the expectations, changes the rules, and says, okay, now you guys are going to have to go, leave pretty much. He puts what most people think is an angel to guard the way back to Eden. Okay. But it's not an angel, it's cherubim. So let's read this here. 3:24, I think it is. Okay. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way, to keep the way of the tree of life. Isn't that such a great verse? Just the imagery. For some people, they're thinking of, like the Archangel Michael or something like that in armor with a flaming sword, keeping people out of this garden. But there's a couple other ways you can interpret this. Right?
Absolutely.
Turning every way. What does that mean? And we're going to go check on the Hebrew here. Okay. Just to, cross our T's and dot our I's. But in English, the King James Version, which is my favorite Bible, number one, it's saying cherubims. So it's not one angel. It just isn't. No matter which way you look at it, it's not one angel. It's either four angels or one angel with four faces. The cherub has been called a composite creature too. So let's go back. Can we go back to Wikipedia?
Oh yeah, sure. I can pull it back up. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what cherub really means. And then I think it'll help us understand what sword really means. Cherub means this, and it's defined later on in the Bible. Bull, lion, eagle, human. Only the last one's the angel as we know it. It's part bull, part lion, part eagle or hawk, a raptor. And the last one's a human. And only the last one, which is the human with the wings, and it's, maybe a little androgynous like most angels are, sexless, right? That's because it's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio.
Yeah. And Aquarius.
And Aquarius. Thank you. Those are the four fixed signs of the zodiac. And they form a cross in the sky. Now, hang on here, guys. You tell me if this is too much of a leap, but is it possible that the flaming sword is the cross in the sky? I don't think it says scimitar. It doesn't say, dagger, right? We'll go see what it says in Hebrew in a sec. It says sword, and the sword is a cross.
Swords have a hilt. Yeah, the hilt makes a cross on a sword as well. And the cardinal signs do turn every way.
Because how would a bull, lion, eagle, and human composite creature swing a sword? How would that happen? Come on, people. I'm not trying to rob the Bible of its poetic imagery and, mythological power, right? But if it's naming cherubim as plural, and cherubim has this animal association, this undeniable zodiacal meaning, what is this? What's this flaming sword? So let's go back to that Wikipedia on cherub.
It's up.
Yeah, here it comes. And yeah. When does it come up later? Here, I'm going to pull it up.
Do you want me to scroll down?
Yeah, and also, by the way, when the Ark of the Covenant is constructed, the two angels that are leaning over the top with their wings, they are said to be cherubs as well. But cherubim in this instance, it's clearly plural. So in Exodus, we see, the instructions of make one cherub on the end and the other cherub on the other end from Exodus chapter 25. We see the cherubim being mentioned. But later on, hang on, we're going to go to what is it? Where does it say bull, lion, eagle?
So that's Ezekiel initially describes, and again, it's called a tetramorph. The cherubim is described as a tetramorph. And again,
Right.
that word tetra coming up a lot tonight, meaning four. So, the face of a man, the face of a lion, the face of an
Yeah.
ox, and the face of an eagle. And it's also important to note, guys, that Scorpio is three animals depicted through Scorpio. You have the eagle, the serpent, and the scorpion.
Yeah. So here, we're going to switch screens here. We're back at the King James Version Bible. We're at Ezekiel 1:10. One sec. Okay. So Ezekiel 1:10 in context. And their feet were straight, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings, on their four sides, and they four had their faces in their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side. They four also had the face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. So essentially it's saying this creature or thing, this has 4 faces: bull, lion, eagle, human. Now what's interesting is, since Christianity kind of removed a lot of the obvious astrological influence, what you see is them only going with the last angel, the last of the cherubs, which is Aquarius, which is the conventional humanoid angel. Aquarius is the water bearer, but it's also the angel, the androgynous angel. How do we know that? Well, Merlin, what part of the body does Aquarius rule?
The ankles.
The ankles. The ankles are the angles of your body. When you're standing straight up, the only angle on your body is your ankles. Your ankles form a 90-degree ankle when you're standing. Angels of light are angles of light. Okay? And the cherubim are the angles of the zodiac, the cross structure of the zodiac. There's 3 crosses in the zodiac. How many crosses were there on the day that Jesus was crucified? I believe there was 3, right?
Indeed.
1 on either side of him. And we're not saying, oh, Jesus is just astrology. Opposite. Okay. But we'll get back to that. But you see that symbolism time and time again. 3 crosses, 3 X's, right? I don't know if 3 T's are a thing, but 3 X's is definitely a thing.
Definitely.
And some people say those other 2 crosses were crooked, They didn't stand the same as Jesus' cross. They definitely weren't as big, perhaps, right? So we've got the bull, the lion, the eagle, and the humanoid. Cherub, people usually attach to the humanoid angel. And over time, what's interesting, remember we're saying this is Aquarius? Aquarius, what is the main holiday in Aquarius season? Valentine's Day. And what is the kind of mascot of Valentine's Day?
A little cherub. Yeah.
Cupid, right?
Cupid.
Now, Cupid being a cherub is kind of like I don't know, it's kind of backwards because the cherub is supposed to be the older androgynous angel. But I guess young kids are pretty androgynous too. But yeah, so Aquarius is the last of the cherubim, but somehow it became like the face of the cherubim, right? The representative of the cherubim, the cherub by itself. So somewhere along the line, cherub became a plump, like naked little kid in a fountain or with wings or whatever. It's supposed to be either the water bearer or an angel, an androgynous angel. And Aquarius rules androgyny too, by the way. We brought that up last episode, but LGBTQ is an Aquarius thing. Okay.
Aquarius, yeah.
Gender fluidity, the flow, right? The flow of Aquarius. Aquarius is how can we say this? How else have I said that before? LGBTQ. What else makes Aquarius like androgynous?
They're quite queer. They're
Aquarius.
A little bit particular. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Thank you. Good job. Thank you.
That was all you, man.
Aquarius. Aquarius is the only sign that has queer in its name, right? And curious, I guess, if you really want to stretch it, but Aquarius.
It's not that much of a stretch.
Awkward, Aquarius. I love Aquariuses, by the way. I love Aquariuses. But Aquariuses are 1 in a million. They're very unique. They have like needle in a haystack energy. Very bohemian, can be very eccentric sometimes. Animated, but yeah. So you see the cherub being associated with Aquarius and vice versa, That is really the fixed signs of the zodiac. It's not just Aquarius. Have you ever been in an Orthodox cathedral or church, Merlin?
No, I've not.
Okay. Here, will you just talk for a sec while I pull up some pictures?
Yeah, sure. So, long ago I brought up that Aquarius, the holiday most associated with it is Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day, again, associated with Cupid. The word cupidity in English means greedy. So, like, literally when Cupid shoots his arrow, it's not always for good reasons. You might get overly greedy, which relates to that, sometimes queer desire that goes along with the LGBT stuff, right? Like, a little bit greedy in the wrong ways, right? Like, Cupid's arrow is not always super friendly. So there is that connection as well.
So, hey guys.
Oh, sure.
No, go ahead.
And then, with the fixed sign of this, well, we can talk about fixed signs later, I guess.
So, guys, who's been in a show of hands, show of oranges in the chat? Who's been in an Orthodox church before and looked up at the artwork at the top? Usually towards the top, they'll have this. It's a pretty common thing in Orthodox churches. You do see it in some other churches too. Believe it or not. And it's usually the four gospels, the writers of the four gospels. Sometimes it's other saints or apostles, but it's usually the four writers of the gospels. Oh, good to see you guys. Oh, we got a flood of oranges coming in. Look at that. Wonderful. Yeah, the icons. The icons up near the dome usually. So we're looking at Greek Orthodox Church in Tarpon Springs. Tarpon Springs, Florida has some of the richest Greek culture and history in all of America. Florida does in general. Okay. Who is this? I don't speak or read Greek, but I would wager that's Mark. Maybe not, but there's an M in there. I could be wrong. That's Matthew for sure. That's John, I think.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Iana.
one. Yeah.
That's Mark. This is Luke, I believe. Luke, yeah. So they've got, I could be wrong though. I could be totally wrong. I don't read Cyrillic or whatever that alphabet is.
And those fixed signs are right next to all those depictions as well.
Yes, exactly. Bingo. That's what I wanted to point out here is going to try and do these in order. I was not looking for this. I just went into this Orthodox Greek church in Tarpon Springs. It's a really nice church made out of brick. Okay. And boom, in each of the cardinal directions, okay, because that's another thing.
Fixed directions.
Fixed directions. Yeah, I guess you're right. Because we say cardinal on the compass, you know, like northeast, southwest, the cardinal directions. But who knows?
Sorry, yeah.
Fixed cardinal. No, it's a good point. It's a good discussion. It is something to be explained because I think these are oriented to the cardinal directions. Most cathedrals usually are, if I'm not mistaken, at least oriented north or east. But we've got the bull. I don't remember the directions of the church. I just snapped these. We've got the bull. We've got the raptor, the eagle or the hawk. For John, I should have said the person. For Luke, you've got the bull, Taurus. For John, you've got the eagle or hawk. For Mark, you've got Leo, the lion. For Matthew, you've got Aquarius, the angel, the humanoid. A bit androgynous too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So isn't that interesting? I'm Christian. I don't believe in astrology. You know that came from the devil, right? You know the fallen angels taught that to men to deceive them and blah, 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 blah. You know this, come on, people. Just fucking. Astrologers are condemned a couple times in the Bible. Astrology's never condemned. Especially God's true, pure science. Okay. If you're using it to manipulate girls or whatever, or, whatever, manipulate boys usually. Yeah, it's dumb and it's vain, right? But astrology's in the Bible. It's ingrained in the Bible. You can't take it out of the Bible, even though people have tried. Okay. But it's right there, folks. The cherubim are there from the beginning. And they show up time and time again. They're there on the Ark of the Covenant. And then after the Gospels, the authors of the four Gospels are then associated with the cherubim themselves. Isn't that crazy, guys? Isn't that awesome?
We got 4 books in the New Testament. We have 4 seasons. And then I think that each of the depictions here, there's a circle behind their head. And, we mentioned last week, and probably will every week moving forward, that, astrology really is the study of the circle. God made the heavens in the shape of a circle. The stars move in circles. When you see the sun or the moon, it is a circle. Is that your music?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Is that good volume?
It's good for me. If it's good for the chat, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we had tunes last time, didn't we?
We didn't know, but this adds to the ambiance for sure.
Nice.
Someone asked who is the founder of astrology? God. God put the stars there, man. Like, there's no founder of astrology. Every culture ever has incorporated astrology into its usually religious and spiritual practices, whether we know it or not. Every holiday is astrological. And like Longo was saying before, there are so many cultures that we're going to get into that use the cross. It's more rare, nigh impossible, to find a culture that doesn't have a cross as part of its holy symbolism. It's just truth, and that's why it manifests always.
Yeah. Good point. Jophi is flame. Jophiel's. I never remember how to say this. Jophi is flame, or Jophiel's flame, some shit like that.
Looks like Jophi is flame, yeah.
Jophi is flame. 420. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Enjoy the tangerines there. Guys, if you're with us tonight, make sure you're sparking up. Pour yourself a little liquid sunshine. Okay. Make sure we're all in good spirits. So we're talking about astrology. We just kind of explained how the modalities, cardinal, fixed, mutable, these separations in the zodiac, or these the different signs that are assigned to each of those modalities, they form the cross shape, right? When you highlight them or kind of isolate them. If you isolate all the cardinal signs, all the fixed signs, or all the mutable signs, it forms a cross, like Merlin was showing us here. Let's go back to that.
Yeah, I've got that pulled up.
Try to envision the cross here, guys. Really see it. Yeah. And depending on how you're looking at it, it's going to be upright, tilted, right? Almost like an X, diagonal cross. So let's kind of look at some... Oh, we should have said, just right off the bat, what's a compass rose? Why do we call it the compass rose? Do you know, Merlin?
No, I don't.
The compass rose is the compass star, is a polar diagram. Isn't that interesting? It's called a polar diagram, displaying the orientation of the cardinal directions, northeast, southwest, and their intermediate points. It is used on compasses, maps, or monuments. Blah, 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 blah.
And of course, compasses only point north because the north is the pole. And again, the word north is an anagram for throne. Very important to understand with astrology.
The ancient Greeks originally maintained distinct and separate systems of points and winds. The 4 Greek cardinal points, Arctos, Anatole, Mesembria, and Deuces, were based on celestial bodies and used for orientation. The 4 Greek winds, Boreas, Notus, Eurus, and Zephyrus, were confined to meteorology. So what's interesting is there was 4 winds. The Greeks believed in 4 winds, like direction of wind, right? Aquarius is the last of the fixed signs and rules wind, does it not?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So, but compass rose, what's interesting is, have you ever seen like the 4-petaled rose that kind of goes along with like the red cross? Right? Like the
Yeah.
red rose and the white rose, the War of the Roses. Yeah. What you're seeing is like the 4-petal motif or the cross motif, right? The cardinal cross. How would we say this? I think I'm going to go out on a whim here. The cardinal cross might be the red one. The fixed cross might be a golden cross. And I don't know what color the mutable cross might be. But there's a theory that the fixed signs are more stable, and therefore, in terms of the ages, it's better to live in I don't know about better, but the fixed ages are more stable, right? Less likely to have significant upheaval on the earth. Starting, ending, creating, destroying, right? You'd rather be in the middle, right? You don't really want to be there for the
Absolutely.
for the upheaval of creation or destruction. But so you got cardinal, fixed, mutable. Each of them forms a cross. We say cardinal directions as if everyone already knows that means like a cross, right? Northeast, southwest. Well, the fixed cross, it seems, has a very religious importance, especially to Christianity, right? Especially to the Abrahamic faiths. So, yeah, anything else you want to say?
I mean, just some
Well-
gravy on the fixed signs, like so many myths explain these signs perfectly. Like everyone knows the tale of the scorpion and the frog, right? When the frog the scorpion wants to cross the sea or the lake, and the frog says, "Oh no, I'm not going to trust you, scorpion." The scorpion says, "Trust me," and then the scorpion betrays him. It's like, well, yeah, Scorpio is a fixed sign. Like you know what you're getting into when you're dealing with a Scorpio. Be careful. And then Taurus, there's the tale of like the two farmers trying to move the bull, and the bull will not move. And they're pushing it, they're slapping it, they're whipping it, and the bull's just obstinate because that's how bulls are. They're very sturdy. They're fixed in their ways. And then the young beautiful maid comes along and puts some butter on her finger and leads the bull back to the cowshed by giving it what it wants, which of course goes back to Taurian nature of eating. So like all of these signs, like all the myths with the animals, totally relate to these fixed signs completely.
Yeah. And also, what animals, the Sphinx is also potentially 2 of these. Yeah, we're closed. Have a good night. The Sphinx is like 2 of these animals, right? Human, cat, right?
Yeah.
And then what's the other one? Griffin?
Yeah, a griffin, and it's yeah, that could be eaglish. I think even like bull could be incorporated because didn't they like kind of mutilate the claws of the Sphinx? I'm not sure. Because it might actually be all, but it's been,
Sometimes they had horns, like a bull, and a bull's tail. Sometimes, or or the front legs or the back legs of a bull. But yeah, it would mostly be eagle and lion mix. Claws of a lion, body of a lion, face and wings of an eagle. But yeah,
the intellect and speech of a man, though.
Okay. Yeah. Good point. So here, let me pull up. This is just something I saw real quick. Makes it easy instead of making my own graphic. There's this graphic out there floating around. Pre-Christian crosses. Some Christians don't like to talk about this, but Christianity, of course, does not have a monopoly on the cross. The cross was around way before Christianity, and it was usually a cosmic symbol, whether it represented the sky or, the bird's eye view of the earth looking down from the sky. Let's just look through these real quick. Pre-Christian crosses, the symmetrical intersection of two lines is a pretty simple idea. Fair enough. Yeah, that's true. As such, it's been used by cultures around the world in various ways with various meanings for tens of thousands of years. The following are a few examples of cross ideograms that aren't associated with Christianity. We have the Chakana Incan stepped cross symbol representing different levels of existence. The Aban, the Ghanaian Adinka symbol for castle as well as strength. Apparently they used to... All right, never mind. Never mind. Yeah, they used to carve that into poop, guys. it was one of their most ancient symbols.
Is this India we're talking about?
That rich Ghanaian culture. The solar cross, used by people. See, this is why I joke, because look at how they do us, guys. Look at how they do us. Used by people for thousands of years around the world for various sun gods. Why aren't any of them European?
That is pretty messed up.
They're throwing them all around the world as if it wasn't a European symbol. The solar cross, very European, also very Native American, North American. You see it all over the place. This is one of the chief Native American symbols, principal, emblematic symbols of Native Americans as a whole. The medicine wheel, isn't that what they call it?
Yeah, and that symbol that used to be the symbol for the sun in ancient astrology. The sun we currently use as a circle with a dot in the middle, but astrologers could also interchange it with the circle with the cross in it. That does represent the sun astrologically, and interestingly, they've taken the circle with the cross, and horrible modern astrologers associate that with Earth now. So it's like you can see like the complete, heliocentric theosophical society influence on the corruption of astrology. That represents the sun. That does not represent Earth at all.
Right. This is the medicine wheel, guys. It's a pretty universal Native American symbol. Let's go look down here. That's pretty much it. Your conventional medicine wheel. Now, this is a great transition segue here, Merlin, because what else do you make out in this medicine wheel symbol?
I mean, we got the 4 seasons.
You were just talking about the sun symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Is there motion happening in this medicine wheel? Do you see a spin to this?
Absolutely. It could be the Big Dipper going around Polaris, potentially, which is incredible astral symbolism.
Yeah. It seems like this is a bit of a crooked cross symbol, too. Okay? So, remember we were saying the flaming sword, okay, spinning every which way? Could that be a swastika? Could the cross that's always changing directions constantly be the sun wheel? Okay. The crooked cross, as they used to call it. How do they call that? The Krum Cruise? Krum Cruise? Is that how you say it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, crooked cross, I think.
Got a couple super chats.
Okay, I'll get to him. Sun wheel, the black sun. Ooh, scary. Sun cross. Yeah, so here, like Merlin was saying, let's pull this up so people can catch up.
And the colors on that medicine wheel are pretty much colors associated with the sun as well. You know, the red sunset, the
Ooh.
yellow. Yeah.
Do you think those are emblematic of the fixed signs? The red, yellow, white, black? Are those the colors?
Yeah, that was the colors. Yeah, that could be for sure. You can make the argument, easily enough.
Leo would have to be yellow, right?
Yeah, I'd say Aries red, Leo yellow, Aquarius white, Scorpio black, and the black and
Aries.
whole.
Aries.
Or not Aries. I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah.
Taurus?
Taurus. Again, the springtime would be red.
Yeah.
The springtime be red.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
I'd have to see the order they went in.
Hmm.
Boom. Broken sun cross or circle swastika. Isn't that the same symbol as the Native American medicine wheel? That one version of it? Pretty crazy.
Yeah, the Nazis did not invent the swastika. That is not a belief you should have as a functional adult.
But yeah, so there's the sun wheel, like Merlin was saying. That itself was a symbol of the sun. Now, should we say that, or what do you think? Is it the sun itself, or is it representing like the 4 seasons, like the 4 movements of the sun?
Definitely the 4 movements of the sun, because the movements of the sun are what the ancients had to track. Like if you're in the world with no information, the most important thing to track is the movements of the sun.
Yeah. Well, guys, could be the flaming sword here. Okay. Have you ever seen a cross with like firecrackers lit on each end, and it spins and it forms the broken sun cross?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
actually
cool.
sick.
Go look it up. A spinning like cross with firecrackers or whatever they're called.
Yeah, like dancers do that stuff, and they'll spin them around, right, and do like a little show for everybody. Yeah.
Mhm. So okay, we got the sun cross. Got the medicine wheel symbol. Yeah, it goes red, yellow, white, black. That could be Taurus, Leo,
Scorpio.
It would be nice if Scorpio were black and Aquarius were white, though. That would be kind of intuitive. But I don't know what order. I don't know what order it goes in. Because if you go the other way, yellow could be Taurus, Leo could be red, like the red sun, maybe. Then black would be Scorpio and white would be Aquarius. If you go that direction, I think that makes sense.
But you maybe had it though, because Aquarius being black does make sense, because that is the darkest time of the year. That is when there's more darkness out than light, for sure.
How does Scorpio being white make sense though?
It doesn't. Well, unless you talk about Scorpio as because again, Scorpio is degeneration, generation, and regeneration. So perhaps the most evolved form of Scorpio, could be the white. And sperm is white.
Yeah. Wait, sperm is white? What? The hell?
Is it not? Have I been doing it wrong this like what?
You chug enough orange juice. Yeah, call me when you drink as much orange juice as me. Just kidding. But so okay. We were talking about the wheel, the sun wheel. What else? Oh, the golden age. Okay, the golden age. There's a theory that the golden age is not a whole cluster of time. It's certain windows of time. Especially, according to this theory, the fixed signs in the ages. So the age of Taurus may have been a golden age. The age of Leo would certainly sound like a golden age, right? The age of Leo, wouldn't that be a very golden age? The age of Scorpio. And we're potentially entering the age of Aquarius right now. And that is potentially a golden age. So, and it also makes sense, the golden calf, right? The golden eagle, the golden, so you have a golden bull, you have a golden eagle, a golden lion,
Yep.
and a golden angel or a golden human.
Golden man, yeah.
Do any of the other signs make sense being golden? Isn't that
Aries, the golden fleece of the ram with Aries.
Okay. That's a good point. Calf could be, how many animals can be a calf?
They're all
Cows,
bovine, aren't they?
Cows have calves. But what else is a calf? Just cows?
I can Google it real quick.
What other
Let's
animal
see.
has calves?
What animals are calves? Calves are the young of several animals, most commonly associated with domestic cattle, but the term also applies to young species like elephants, hippos, so that goes to Sagittarius probably, but not really, because it's just hippos, rhinos, and whales. Interesting. Various large mammals is a calf. Various large mammals.
But you see golden calves, you see golden bulls in the Bible, right? You see golden eagle being it's an American thing. We have golden eagles in America, but the golden eagle, as Napoleon had the golden eagle, the Roman Empire had the golden eagle, right? America uses golden eagles in our classrooms and, government assemblies and stuff like that. So isn't that interesting? You've got Taurus, often depicted in gold, the gold cow. Leo next, already a golden animal, very golden in what it symbolizes in the sun and, majesty and things like that. Scorpio, even though kind of black, vibes with Scorpio, jet black. Scorpio, the eagle is golden, like I said before. Humans get painted gold too. Gold man, there's golden people. It happens. Golden eye, gold finger, But so I think that's pretty compelling for a golden age. What's the word? Timing the golden age. Yeah. Golden age hypotheses. What do you think? What do you think about that?
That's fun. It works. And the fun thing about the ages is none of us know for certain. When we're talking ages, that's the span of, 24 to 25,000 years. And we're only here for probably less than 100 each, so it's all just theory. But yeah, that could totally make sense. And the gold associations is great. And the fact that we are in a mutable age and we know what it's like to live in a mutable age shows, well, this probably isn't a golden age. Although, again, you're right when you say this is the best time to live. I think God puts us where we need to be. So, yeah, I think just being alive is golden, personally.
Look at this. Here, we're going to go through some cherubim art just to kind of see how people cope with this concept without having the benefit of astrology, to make sense of it. And here let's go through some super chats. We got Magic Garden Mike, new member. Appreciate that. Jofi is Flame, new member. Appreciate that. Rob R2D says, I'm not Nick Fuentes, but I can give you one guess who's responsible for wiping historical European involvement with the cross symbol from the internet. Yeah, I think you're right. I hear you. Moises Brando with the $2 says Jordan Peterson's art looks like a medicine wheel. Yeah, it seems like he's been taking a ride on the medicine wheel, if you know what I'm saying. Jordan Peterson.
Too many benzos.
I think. Hey, hang on. We're actually getting a call from Jordan Peterson right now, guys.
Really?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Oh, bloody hell! Oh, Jesus! You just gotta take the load, and bloody hell, it's, it'll be so rewarding.
Jordan Peterson, you're giving everybody advice, but like, what's your daughter up to these days, Jordan Peterson?
My wife looks nothing like Marina Abramovich.
You ever see his wife?
I've never seen his wife. No.
Whew, good.
She looks like a
Thank
spirit
God.
cooker.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Dude,
that's bad stuff.
Jordan Peterson's wife could be Marina Abramovich. I'm not even kidding. Could be.
That's rough.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. Here, let's get through these. Jordan Peterson's art looks like a medicine wheel. Rob T R2D, $10 again. Thank you. Sun worship, oldest religion there is. Early proponents of globe earth revived and forced it on the world to ingrain into minds that sun was center of solar system. Yeah, you're not wrong. For that sounds pretty right. Esperanza Vents Tarot. Howdy, good to see you. Thanks for the $10 super sticker. Enjoy that super sticker. Don't spend it all at once. That's good stuff right there. All right, guys. Cherubim. What's a cherubim? Look at how this is depicted. There's only one sword, but multiple cherubs. So what do they just... One holds it? Do they pass it around?
And you can see movement in that sword too. Like there's movement obvious in the depiction of the sword.
Yeah. The sword's constantly turning. How do you hold on to that? How does an angel wield that? Right? Rob TR2D with the $5. He says, fittest flat earther would tell you that Peterson's wife is Abramovich and that they are vampires. You mean Paul Saladino? This is not a bad interpretation. I think the sword of God is the word of God. In the beginning was the word. Yeah, Jesus's sword seems to be his word. That seems to be like a more explicit interpretation in the New Testament is the word is the sword, Mighty is the word, right? The pen too is pretty strong. But yeah, 100%. It could be 100%. And that actually gives us a great topic to kind of segue onto. Remember we were talking last time about alphabets being caused by shadows being cast, right?
Yep.
The same thing kind of applies to the cross in the conversation we're having right now. Remember we were talking about the quote Psalms 19 when it's saying about how important, about how grand the heavens are in God's creation. The heavens are God's greatest creation, his most beautiful, wise, important, influential creation.
They declare the glory of God.
Yep, they declare the glory of God. And then it goes on to say that they are day unto day uttereth speech, right? Stuff like that. They're speaking, they're talking, they're singing. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, right? They're singing and influencing what's happening down here. Language comes from astrology. Alphabets come from astrology, too.
Oh yeah, the earliest cuneiform was entirely based on the star constellations. Yeah, 100%.
And also, if you go to the Phoenician alphabet, the first letter, and Hebrew, I think, the first letter is usually associated with the bull. Isn't that interesting? Not Aries. It's a horned animal, so maybe it is Aries. But the A letter is usually associated with Taurus. Isn't that interesting? So it starts with the fixed signs, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know.
Very. And then going to the cross too, the capital T, there is symbolism there that the capital T is the horns of an animal, either a ram or a bull. But both of those first two signs of the zodiac, Aries is the ram, Taurus is the bull. Both animals have horns, and they can be seen as a T, essentially, a capital T.
Yeah. Here, why don't you talk about the letters and stuff you had prepared, like the the letter
Yeah, sure.
T
The numbers.
and X,
Sure.
and 10.
Yeah, you mind throwing
That's
my
a good
screen up real
one.
quick?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So there's some more cross symbolism, guys. But yeah, so we were talking about. Do you want to see some Big Dipper videos too? Is that cool? There's a
Yeah,
good
let's
time
talk
for that as
about-
well.
Yeah, let's talk about that, about how that ties into the crooked cross sun
Yeah.
wheel.
So, guys, we like talking astrology, all sorts of astrology, and I think Longo would agree with me that it's important as an astrologer or as someone who just appreciates the heavens to go outside and actually look at it for yourself. You know, like really go out and like look at the stars, look at the constellations and see them, you know, like and take maybe a half hour or an hour and just like sit outside, chill outside, throw some music on, you know, do what you're going to do, but like literally look at the heavens. And Polaris, guys, is so magnificent. So in case you don't know this, and everyone should know this, a lot of people in the chat definitely know this, but the Big Dipper, these front two stars in the Big Dipper, Dubhe and Merak, they are always pointing at Polaris.
Wait, hang on.
Sure.
Merrick Dubé?
Merak Dubhe is literally pointing
Bro,
at
what?
Polaris all the time. That's crazy,
Bro,
right?
Eric Dubé is in the North Pole.
Dude's
Dude,
goated,
that's
man.
crazy.
So, like, yeah, like right now, no matter where you are on Earth, it doesn't matter if the sun's out or not. These two stars are always pointing at Polaris 100% of the time. And of course, just talking intelligent design, guys, like the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper both just happen to look exactly like one another. Like, come on. What are the coincidences that these two constellations look exactly the same, and this Big Dipper circles the other one constantly, while these two stars constantly point at Polaris? Here's
That's
a few.
insane. Eric
Sorry, go ahead.
Dubé was literally named by God
To point us in the right
to
direction.
point us to the North Star, to point us to Polaris. That's crazy, dude.
Merak Dubhe.
I'm not gonna take that away from him. I think that's pretty sick. I think it's, dude. I love Eric Dubé. People can fucking. Do I love everything he says? Of course not. Okay, but I love his content. He got me hooked on a lot of this stuff to start out with. Yeah,
Same. And he's a gracious dude, genuinely. Like in my interactions with him, he's been very, very nice.
nice, man.
So yeah, dude, like Polaris, check this out. So
Hang on, what is this? We're watching YouTube video? Pause.
okay,
Yeah.
my bad. I'll take it off.
This is someone else's video?
Yeah, take it off.
What is it?
It's
Just
just a Big Dipper Polaris time lapse. Oh, I didn't have any music on or anything with it, so
Well, here,
It's just-
pull
yeah.
it up. I'll just pull it up. Don't hit play. I'll show you how to do it. So full
Okay.
screen it.
Yeah.
And without hitting play, we're going to put us in front of the video. Okay?
Okay.
That on its own. Oh, crap. I forgot to put the comments on.
Can you put us on the left side?
Yeah, one sec.
Yo, we don't gotta watch it then, because like we're kind of blocking the stars anyway, and like
Oh,
people
good.
probably get the idea.
No, it's good. But
Okay.
here, shout out the channel and shout out the video name. And that'll
Sure. So the channel name is Dennis Copeland, and it's just time lapse showing Big Dipper rotating around the North Star. And if you just search, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
So you can search this on YouTube, guys. There are so many of these, but like, let's see. So right now, you can see Polaris. Let me draw it here. Right. So Polaris is never going to move. It's right there. And then, where's the Big Dipper? We'll see it as it goes through. Yeah. Oh, no,
pause it
never
and
mind. I got it
change-
wrong.
I was just going to say change the speed, please.
Sure. I will do that. So Polaris is right there. Merak or Eric Dubé, those two stars are right there, and they are pointing at Polaris. So you'll see as this goes around, they're going to stay pointing at Polaris. Let me switch up the playback speed real quick, and then I'll let it rip. Yeah, my bad, Long. I didn't mean to just let that rip on you like that. Here we go. So there it is, right? The Big Dipper's moving. It's still pointing at Polaris. Polaris is not moving. The Big Dipper's going. Still pointing at it. Just incredible. You can go outside tonight after the stream, or right now if you're on your phone, and see it for yourself. The Big Dipper is always doing that. And that's what the swastika does, because if you look at the Big Dipper, like let's say at midnight, on the night of the spring equinox, the solstices, and the autumnal equinox, that's how you get the swastika. Like that's literally the swastika, is the Big Dipper pointing at Polaris at the different crosses of the year. And that's why it is a crooked cross. And that way predates Mr. Mustache Man in the 1940s. You know, that this goes back time immemorial. God created this in the heavens. And this symbol has been corrupted big time for us.
I'll be right back, Merlin. You just
Sure.
go for like a couple minutes.
Sure, okay.
Thanks.
Other cross symbolism, the Red Cross is a very Masonic organization. The Tau Cross, the T that I was talking about earlier, this is, I believe, Saint Anthony and Jesus. This goes back to the ancient Egyptians. Yeah, like we got in chat, look north, there it be. Polaris, guys, is just pure beauty. The Ankh, the Crux Ansata, is also the Ankh, and that's just a T cross, a capital T with a circle above it. And sometimes the circle does get elongated like this, and sometimes the circle is more, you know, even. And this is what's cool, guys. So check this out, right? The number 10 in Roman numerals we all know as X, and that's a cross, right? That's a crooked cross, but X is 10, and in numerology, 10 reduces to 1. And for the ancient Pythagoreans, 10 was the most perfect number. You know, God's most perfect number is the number 10. That's what the Pythagoreans believed. And in Japanese, check it out, the number is actually Ju. It's pronounced Ju. Not making that up. That's the pronunciation. So Ju is 10 in Japanese, and there it is on the left-hand side, and there on the bottom right, it's a cross. Doesn't stop there. In Chinese, it's Shi. And that's also a cross. So in many different languages, or I guess number systems, not languages, but number systems, similar enough, the cross is represented as the number 10. So it goes way back. I think that's what I have in that. Oh yeah, and just the letter T in Septenary Gematria, this isn't the number 10 at all. But Septenary Gematria, you know, goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It is so cool because, you know, allegedly the King James Bible is embedded or encoded with Septenary Gematria. But just seeing the alphabet spread out like this is a very cool thing, because it shows you that the alphabet has a positive and negative side to it. What do you mean? Well, the negative side of the alphabet literally starts with, oh, that's not what I was looking for. It starts with nope. N-O-P. Nope. And that's the second half of the alphabet. So yeah, for what I was getting at though is T is 7. So G is 7 and T is 7 in Septenary Gematria. And that's just cool for a lot of different reasons because, 7 is obviously, the 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 days of the week, the 7 Elohim, 7 this, 7 that. The T is, of course, symbolic of Christ because the lowercase t is a cross. The capital T is also a cross. Sorry, you want to hop in?
Yeah, I also did want to say it's funny that on T, which you were saying represents 10 in a couple, or the cross represents 10 in a couple other numerical systems, right? Jesus being crucified, and I know he was not officially born, okay, but the fact that the Southern Cross being emphasized around this winter solstice, you have him being crucified in the 10th sign of the zodiac, which is interesting.
Yeah.
The T comes in the 10. T minus,
Yeah, the Dec Ember December, the 10th, and again, guys, knowing astrology, you'll understand why the months are the way they are.
Yeah.
It starts with Aries.
And we're going to talk about this come New Year's. We're going to do a big New Year's stream and set the record straight on months and how many months are we supposed to have and stuff like that.
We've got, deep gravy on the calendars, guys. Like incredibly deep, unique calendar gravy.
Mm-hmm. So here, let's switch gears. Let's go over. You can just pause on that.
Okay.
On that slideshow or whatever you got there. Let's look at these real quick, okay, and try and make sense of some of them. Boom, there we go. Christian cross variants. Greek cross, Maltese cross, St. Andrew's cross. That's one I want to talk about. St. Andrew's cross and St. Patrick's cross, which are the crooked ones. Why does that matter? Because the flag of Florida is the St. Andrew's cross, the saltire, an X-shaped cross associated with St. Andrew, patron of Scotland. The school I went to, St. Andrews. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. It doesn't really matter, but St. Andrew, I loved that school. It was okay, but set me up for success. But St. Andrew, I got kicked out, so. But
what'd you do?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
The past is the past. Get behind me, Satan.
Yeah. But it was just a bunch of things added up. They just didn't want me to. They didn't let me continue on to high school. So. Yeah. But okay. It was St. Andrews, right? Was the patron saint of that school that I went to. So patron saint of Scotland too. What's interesting is the St. Patrick cross is similar. Oh, is Patrick not in here? St. Patrick's. How do you say this word?
Saltire?
Saltire? Yeah, that's how I said it. Just wasn't sure. St. Patrick's saltire. St. Patrick's cross. That's the flag of Florida, guys. That's the flag of Florida. I got to redo my whole Irish video, hidden Irish history video, and talk about this. But, it's a lot of other flags, but St. Patrick, I love St. Patrick. So, what's interesting is, guys, you have one straight cross, and you have various crooked crosses too. Could these be the Cardinal cross, the fixed cross, and the Mutable cross? What do you think, Merlin?
I think that's extremely likely. Extremely likely.
Yeah. So let's see, origins of the let's look at some other crosses here. We stopped at St. Andrew. That one looks like Florida too. For those who don't know, the flag of Florida is a white background and it's a red saltire. It's got a little bit of gold in there too. Red, white, and yellow.
And the gold relates to the sun a little bit.
Yeah, golden circle.
Hey, there you go.
The golden circle of the Knights of the Golden Circle. That's where we get it. Here. Boom. Florida flag. You guys see it? And we get that from the Spanish, I believe. Yeah. Burgundian saltire was generally used in Florida to represent collective Spanish sovereignty. Okay. But it's also a Union, or sorry, not the Union, the Confederate cross, right? Also in there. So, okay, what else is there to say? You got any more slides you want to show?
Not really. I mean, we can go, just talk about the modalities some more, but as far as cross stuff, I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. We don't have to force it, but whatever else you got, now's the time. We'll just wrap it up early.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I could just show, like, real quick, just the modalities on my screen. You know, they just... It's obviously a cross, guys, like the fixed cross right there. So if that's the fixed cross, the upright cross, then, well, that one's crooked, and that one's crooked as well. And that's kind of what Longo was getting at right there, is that these crosses, these different intersections, are why the crosses may be crooked or straight or whatnot. And it all relates back to the modalities of the signs.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And here's, I guess, the argument we're making, the hypothesis, if there's a cross that is better or more stable or more holy or sacred, it's probably the fixed one. I don't know what you think about that. It's either cardinal or fixed, I feel like, right?
Yeah, definitely not mutable. I would say fixed. I would say fixed, because that's why God was depicted as the tetragrammaton. That's all these different things, relate back to depictions of God, who is, of course, the most stable of all things. So yeah, that's a good argument. The age of Aries didn't seem like a golden age looking back at it, what we know about it, right? Was that stuff, the golden age material? I don't think so.
Yeah, and what does Yod represent? Is Yod associated with the bull?
Like the Yod from Hebrew?
Yeah.
I mean, I could make that argument, because, like, it looks like it has horns, doesn't it? Like a bull's horns, almost like a little straight up thing with two horns coming out.
So yeah, Yod, the number 10 means hand, dot. Which Hebrew letter means bull?
I'll hit up Google.
Aleph. Yeah, the first letter, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not Yod, but I guess it looks like it. It kind of looks like it a little bit. Has horns, right?
Yeah, I'm not a Hebrew expert.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry, guys. If you want a Hebrew expert, no. Not us. But we got one more super chat here from Rob TR2D. Dubé is the shit, he says, but Sam Hyde's comedy is impeccable. I feel the truth connection when I watch Longo and Merlin. Thanks for bringing us closer to our existence and our origins. Yeah, anytime, man. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in.
100%.
So yeah, just to kind of summarize and review, in Genesis chapter 3, God puts cherubims in the Garden of Eden, or outside the Garden of Eden, east of the Garden of Eden, to keep the way of the tree of life, to protect the way of the tree of life. Okay? The tree of life, cross, I think Jesus compares, or Jesus on the cross is compared to the serpent on the tree, right? It's kind of like a redeeming, but also Moses and his staff changing between serpent and staff. The dollar symbol, right? You've got the serpent on the staff.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Christians like to use the cross or the staff and the serpent as like a premonition or a foreshadowing of the cross. I think that's kind of silly, especially when there's a lot stronger, a lot stronger ammunition for that, like the cherubim, the flaming sword. Sword means cross. I mean, what word would they have used in Hebrew to use cross? I don't know. But yeah, I don't really have much more to add on that. I think we got everything out pretty quick. And go ahead.
So oh no, go ahead. I mean, I would just say like astrological gravy, we're talking about the swords. Like you use a sword when you are cross with somebody, right? So if you are cross with a foe, you'll pull your sword out. And then real quick, last week we talked about elements being 120 degrees away. Well, these different modalities are 90 degrees away, which is why in astrology, a 90-degree separation is a square. But that's also, to go back to the word tetra, right? God is the tetragrammaton. The cherubim are tetramorphs. And in astrology, a square is not good because that's tetragonal radiation. So it's 1/4 of the distance of the heavens between two celestial bodies. And that is tetragonal radiation. That is a square. And that's just to tie it back in with that.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. The modalities, the cross, how they tie into the crosses, and a little bit of Golden Age theory, right? Theorizing. And we might revisit this topic. There's certainly a lot more to be said, but yeah, we won't pile on too much if we don't need to. And guys, go check out Merlin's channel on YouTube. Merlin. How do I find your channel again?
It's at Wise Wizard Merlin. That's Wise with a Z. And thank you.
Wise Wizard Merlin with a Z for wise. And here, I'll pull it up on screen now. Guys, go give his channel a subscribe. There's 400 people watching here. Which one of you pussies isn't gonna go subscribe? I'll beat your ass, okay? There's 400 people. Go subscribe. Also, there's 400 of you. This Merlin guy's okay, but Dr. Longo's also got his Dr. Longo's also got an alternate channel. So guys, go subscribe to Merlin, Wise Wizard Merlin with a Z, and also go subscribe to my backup channel /astrology non-Florida channel. There's 400 people in the chat. go subscribe to Dr. Narco Longo and Wise Wizard Merlin. Here, I'll drop the links in the chat since you're so fucking lazy.
If you guys feel compelled.
Okay, links are in the chat now. For Wise Wizard Merlin. And then link is in the chat for Dr. Narco Longo, alternate channel. 400 people in the chat. I better see these numbers go up, okay? Thanks guys. Appreciate it. We're going to be pumping these out every Saturday. Astrology-based, Christian, Bible-based astrology, geocentric astrology. We're taking over. No more of that blue-haired barista astrology. No more of that heliocentric astrology. Okay. Yeah.
Based and red-pilled astrology.
100%. From the two most alpha sigma alphas on planet Earth. Just kidding. But all right, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody.
Hope you enjoyed and got some good information off these. I'm gonna go walk home. I've been up for a little while. Merlin, you want to say anything in closing?
No, thanks everybody. Have a great night. Go look at the stars. The stars are out tonight. If it's a beautiful sky, go look at them yourself. It's important to see them for yourself.
Amen. Thanks to everyone who donated and tuned in. We'll see you guys next Saturday. I might pump out some Florida content before then. But also, if you like this show, you got to subscribe to Dr. Narco Longo, because I'm not going to archive these on Old World Florida. Every time I do a new episode, I'm going to knock off the last one to keep Old World Florida oriented. So these episodes are going to stay on Dr. Narco Longo. Only the most recent one will be on my live section on Old World Florida. So heads up. All right, everyone. Peace.
Yup. Wild Indian, yeah.
Hey V, line them up.
I'm a wild Indian, you know I go crazy. Ain't really Indian, that boy fugazi. I just keep it player, you can never play me. You got an ass so fat, girl, let's make a baby. And another one. Then I'm back to the trap, I'm trying to double some. She a bad woke chick and I love her tongue. We some jurisdiction boys, we some one-on-ones. Look, don't compare me to no Martin dog, I'm like Malcolm X. Die about our freedom, we'll leave a crack and stretch. Round of applause, boy, you know we clapping text. Chucky dog, child's play, yeah, nigga, that's what's next. Open up the cans just like Arizona. Pull up masked up like we got the Rona. We set up jurisdictions when we buy the corner. How you claiming that's your hood and you not the owner? Be the B, I just pulled up in the need for speed. Free the land, tell the colonizers that they need to leave. Wild Indian up in my veins, you know how we bleed. You ain't gotta lie about who we is, dog, just keep it G. We at war, we can't keep the peace. Since we at war, gotta keep the peace. Whack a cone, then I meditate. Should I need to breathe? Keep a Olmec head when we slide, dog, cause we the shit.
Like my niggas said, bitch, we the shit. I can't keep the peace. If it pop off, then I want a piece. I'm just on release. I'm in go mode, motherfuck the thief. In the streets like EBT, when we at war, make peace with me. I don't give give a damn, understand, fuck who stole this land, white or black or tan, understand, it's fuck who stole this land. Might have seen me get little buddy these hands, he wasn't no abo man. A lot of these dudes is Sambo man, they full of shit like my ammo can. What they call an N-word out the wrong mouth as an ambulance. Wild Indian, get it in advance, or you can post date it. Ask around, I'm the most hated. Straight sacred, they stole acreage. No ape shit, show ain't shit. It won't be televised, on tape shit.
Be the B, I just pulled up in the need for speed. Free the land, tell the colonizers that they need to leave. Wild Indian up in my veins, you know how we bleed. You ain't gotta lie about who we is, dog, just keep it G. We at war, we can't keep the peace. Since we at war, gotta keep the peace. Whack a cone, then I meditate. Should I need to breathe? Keep a Olmec head when we slide, dog, cause we the sheep.